Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And citation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article real quick, which says Serbia warns everyone is preparing for war. All right, and which scripture should come into your mind when reading this here headline? You know, when we sit here and we watch, or how you say, look at the news and these articles and things like that, watching for the prophecies, being the watchman on the towers, all right, warning the people, all right, when you see things like this should just trigger, certain scriptures in your mind, all right, let the weak say I am strong, all right, how does it say, prepare the mighty men for war, all right, this is what you see going on, everybody's talking about war, everybody's gathering up munitions, everybody is preparing for war. All right. Says Belgrade said it is profiting from the arms and ammunition race, but is worried about NATO encirclement. All right. And see, the real news on the ground is that NATO is on the move, not the other side. Right. But this is what's going to, draw, basically the West into World War III. All right. Well, really, it's going to just leave Babylon the Great in the World War III alone, because some of the moves, that Babylon is doing is selling itself out. His own schemes is going to be their downfall. But that's, another topic. This article says Serbia's military industry has ramped up production of weapons and ammunition to keep up with skyrocketing demand driven by the conflict in Ukraine. President Alexander Vucic said on Tuesday. Going into this here, just this Ukraine scenario, man, you have a lot of weapons, and that's something that they don't really talk about, that not really speaking on the United States, but the rest of the West, right? They're having problems as well keeping up with sending stockpiles of weapon over to Ukraine, all right, because their supply is getting low, all right. And it's like, look, man, we can't send all this before we don't have any any more how you call it, rounds or anything else like that, man. We can't send all of our pretty much bullets over there, man, bullets and missiles and things over there, and we don't got nothing. And then the war pop off, and then it's like, well, we sent everything to Ukraine. Russia blew all that up, and then now you got like 35 plus partners, but none of them got any any bullets, more or less, to say, man. Can't fight a war like that. All right. So it says Serbia's military industry is ramping up production of weapons and ammunition to keep up with skyrocketing demand driven by conflict in Ukraine. President Alexander Vucic said on Tuesday, visiting the IDEX weapons fair in UAE. Vucic said the world is preparing for war. All right. Hey, there's a sound of battle in the land. All right. You're going to hear wars and rumors of wars. It says everyone needs ammunition. Everyone is buying everything. And so, again, that's just, the visions here for an appointed time. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Right now, you're seeing these wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. All right. Beat your plowshares and the swords. This is what's going on right about now, man. There's a sound of battle in the land. All right. All these scriptures should be just ringing off in your head right about now. Just reading this here article, man. You should be getting excited seeing prophecy being fulfilled. All right. It says, well, let me just go ahead and start this paragraph over. It says, everyone needs ammunition. Everyone is buying everything. Anything we can make gets sold. Vucic said, I don't know how some of this stuff hasn't ended up on the battlefield of Ukraine yet, which, probably a lot of it has ended up on the battlefield of Ukraine just to get blown up as soon as it touched down over there. It says demand for things like rockets for Grad multiple launcher systems have gone up by 70%, the Serbian president added, noting that Belgrade is looking to expand some of its ammunition production since it's all spoken for. So, hey, man, that's a somewhat of a good problem to have in business. All right. A lot of the times, you want to be like so so far booked out, more or less to say, or so far, your sales is so far up, it's like, hey, we can't even take no new orders right now. We got to fill all these here back orders. You know what I'm saying? It says but the bad side of that problem is you don't want to get so busy that you can't, take on any new clientele, or you can't even keep up with production. So, for instance, let's just give it to you like this. You got a Pizza Hut, right? Now a bad Pizza Hut location would be, hey, look, we'd have been open all day long and only sold one pizza, two pizzas. So now, when you're dealing with, like, let's just say a Pizza Hut, you got to prep for all that. I don't know if they make their dough or anything fresh like that, but let's just say hypothetically they do make their dough fresh. Now they're going to make, they got to prepare for a normal busy day. Let's just say hypothetically they make I don't know, throw out a random number, 50 pizzas, right? They pre-make, with the dough, 50 different pizzas, right, for the day. But they only sell one pizza throughout the day, right? Now, I don't know how long the shelf life of this pizza lasts. Let's just say the pizza lasts for 2 days. So they sold one pizza today, one pizza tomorrow, but they got 48 dough that they got to throw out. That's a bad problem to have because now you're wasting product. We pay for electricity and all this here stuff. These two pizzas that we done sold over these last 2 days ain't going to cover our overhead, right? That's a bad problem to have. You don't have enough business. But then you have another side of that where it's like, look, man, we just got somebody to call us up for a 50 pack of pizzas, right? That's what we normally sell. So we got to make double that for what we would, for that order alone, plus what we might sell throughout the day. But then they didn't call back and hit us with another 50 pack order. You know what I'm saying? So that's 100 pizzas sold. Now they call you for another 200 pizzas. And then now you to the point, it's like, look, bro, we don't even know if we can get out the first 100 pizzas, let alone 150 pizzas, let alone 200 pizzas. We don't want to take in an order. And then, you call them like, hey, where's our pizzas? Oh, shit, bro. We still got 200 pizzas before we can even get to your pizzas. We might not even be able to get them. So now you have people calling and quitting and people giving you bad reviews. So now don't nobody want to mess with you because you can't keep up with the demand, right? So now let's bring this back over to the war front. All right, you don't want to be that guy that's like, look, we can't even fight a war because we don't have no munitions. You got, we got 200 here, 400 there. But, we didn't spent all of our stuff already, all right, based off of the old prior numbers, all right? We didn't spent out. It says, and again, going into that scenario, like, hey, we only order enough ingredients. We normally only sell 50 pizzas, so we only order the ingredients for that. We didn't know we was going to get an order of 400 pizzas. Bro, we can't fill that order, right? It says demand for things, we just read that. It says ammunition is selling like hotcakes, Vucic said. He claimed that Russia uses up to 35,000 rounds a day. Now, I don't know if that's probably just bullets, but it says he claimed that Russia uses up to 35,000 rounds a day and Ukraine about 16,000, which adds up over a course of a year. Serbia is trying to hold back at least some of the hardware for its own needs, Vucic said. Man, you got to think, let's just say these are just bullets, not to mention, because it'd be kind of hard pressed to be like, damn, 35,000 like bombs is going off a damn day plus 16,000. That's a lot, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? But just imagine all them bullets going off like that and the amount of, what is that, brass or lead, whatever they made out of. Damn. The amount of resources that Esau sucks up out of the earth for shit like this. You know what I'm saying? It says our army and our country must be, you could be using that shit for something way much more better than just making bullets and just cases and shit like that. But it's Esau. It says our army and our country must come first. At least 30% of everything made in Serbia must stay in Serbia, he told reporters. We can only sell what we can spare. Everyone wants to fight. Everyone is getting ready for war. All right, there it is again. Worried about its own neighbors or his own neighborhood, Belgrade also imported whatever it can, including a bid for Rafale fighter jets from France. According to Vucic, a contract with the Emirates for kamikaze drones should be signed later this week. So, see, everybody's preparing everybody, and everybody is buying and selling and trading. At a time like this, you so-called got food shortages going on around the globe, resource shortages going on around the globe, microchip shortages going on around the globe, just goods slowing down, being sold around the globe. But what is going up and skyrocketing right about now, man? All right, the number one thing that's going up right about now is weapons and ammunition. All right. It says, we are surrounded by NATO countries. Bosnia, I ain't going to try to pronounce it, is not a member of NATO, but NATO is not it's not a member, basically, of NATO, but NATO troops are there too, as well as part of our own territory in Kosovo, the Serbian president said. As for comments about the situation in Ukraine, Vucic said that he was expecting a great change on the battlefield in the next 2 or 3 days, which may lead to further Western pressure on Serbia. Vucic has so far resisted U.S. and EU demands to sanction Russia, insisting that Belgrade's military neutrality is ongoing in the ongoing conflict. The IDEX 2023 Global Defense Exhibition held in Abu Dhabi is one of the largest arms fair in the world, blah, 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 blah. All right. So pretty much, the point here is that everybody's preparing for war. All right. Let's go ahead and grab some scriptures on this, because this is pretty much what would be prophesied to happen in the end days, man. All right. At a time like, besides, Babylon the Great, right? When you go up from the 90s, really the end of or the beginning of the 90s, man, 91, 92, the fall of the Soviet Union. And even before then, you had, from the end of World War II all the way up until then, you had, the Cold War, which really wasn't like a lot of, bullets flying type fighting. You know what I'm saying? So, that wasn't really a big, how do I put it? That wasn't a big flare up in conflicts. But besides the U.S., with them, going in the Middle East and everything else like that, the world was pretty quiet when it comes to war. You had conflicts, but on a larger scale, the world was pretty quiet when it comes to wars, right? But now, what do you have going on, man? Let's go ahead and read it. Well, let's start at verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So what should be the sign of the end of the world, or the Lord's coming, right? It says, And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, hey, you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars, all right? For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows. And are we not dealing with famines, with the food prices going up, pestilence with these different diseases and things, sicknesses and illnesses going out, earthquakes? You just had a rerun of the earthquake out there in Turkey, all right? And, how you call it, casualties or death. The death rate is just climbing over there, man. All right. But nevertheless, going back to the wars and the rumors of wars, this is a point in time. Matter of fact, let me grab this precept. All right, this is matter of fact. Um, Let me start at verse 21. It says, Go up against the land of Merathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pakad. Waste and utterly destroy after them, saith Yahweh, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. And, that's the ultimate judgment here on Babylon. This is the point right here, verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. All right. So in the NLT it says, Let the battle cry be heard in the land and a shout of great destruction. So what was that article pretty much saying, man? There's a battle cry in the air. All right. Or there's a demand for weapons and arms. And hey, we trying to keep up with production right about now, man. Going back to the example of the pizza situation, or let's just say, let's say you work at a Pizza Hut or some shit like that, and it's the Super Bowl or something. It's like, hey, man, we're going to be super busy today. A lot of people going to be wanting to order a bunch of wings, and a lot of people going to want to order a lot of pizzas. So before Super Bowl Sunday come up, we got to pre-order enough supplies to be able to fill up the orders or whatever we may have, man. All right. And so this is what you have going on. So, speaking of which, the Super Bowl just passed, if you would have went inside like a grocery store, like where they got like wings and stuff like that, party platters, Pizza Hut and things like that. Hey, man, them stores was pretty much packed out, around that time. But guess what? Those stores prior to that, right, they had to sit there and look at their calendar like, what, we got basically a holiday coming up, a holiday in their business of selling food where things would be increased. And they had to make sure they had enough demand for or supply for the demand that was coming. All right. So the same thing here is going on with the wars and the rumors of wars. These nations are foreseeing or forecasting, a need for all these munitions. All right. It's not like, well, it's just a conflict that it's only going to last a couple months. It's only going to last a year or two. Nah, man, these people are looking all the way out in the future. And as we're approaching the year anniversary of the start of the conflict in Ukraine and Russia, right? Just think about it, man. When it first popped off, some people was thinking, oh, I don't want to get super excited about this. This is just something that's going to happen over the weekend. All right, this is only going to be something that's going to happen for a month. They're going to go in there and wipe them out. That's what they were saying. It was like, oh, well, Ukraine is going to run through Russia in a week or a month, and this is going to be over with and everything else like that. Now, granted, people would say, oh, well, thought Russia was so big and bad that they didn't just run through Ukraine like that. It was like, well, Russia's really not trying to just run through the Ukraine like that, because if you really understand, like, they basically just killing their own people. You got a rogue government in there that's sacrificing their own people, you know what I'm saying, unto Russia, which Russia understanding that's their own people. And plus, you got all of NATO back in Ukraine. You keep just while Biden and them keep sending money, keep sending munitions. This is what the whole thing is all about. They arming them. Like, yo, how come Ukraine and been ran out of weapons, man? Long time, but that's why they keep sending more arms over there now. All right, well, how about the soldiers that's over there dying? What happens when Ukraine run out of soldiers? Russia got a population way bigger than Ukraine, but what happens if the Ukrainians run out of soldiers, man? Where are they going to get more soldiers and more troops from? All right, hence World War III. Verse 22 again, it says, "The sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction." So, hey, this is what we have going on right about now, man. All right, let's go to Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. All right, Joel chapter 3 verse 9, it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. prepare war. Wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. So, hey, this is what you have going on right about now as well, too. It says, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. So this is what you have going on with these different nations, man. All right, let's keep reading. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I am strong. So, hey, look, you take your factories where you were normally building, like, agriculture. Because, see, you have, like, in the military, you have a civilian operations for everything, right? So let's say, for instance, hey, they building like tanks and stuff like that, right? Or Humvees and stuff like well, we all know about. Now they got them back out again. The civilian Hummer, the electric Hummer they got out now. They got the civilian application and the military application for it, man. They got these MRAPs and everything else like that. Then they got the civilian applications to those, all your Suburbans and things like that. So it's nothing for these, car manufacturers that's not really selling cars anyway. And we don't even know this could be what's going on with the car shortage. You can go to these new car dealerships and you very rarely see any damn new cars on the lot, man. It's crazy how just speaking of from experience, going to the Cadillac dealership, what I'm saying, hey man, they don't got no new Escalades on the lot, man. All right, they got some new ones on the lot, some like New Year ones on the lot, but they all used. When you look at the new lot, it's just spread out a bunch of used cars, man. All right, especially the Escalade. So like I'm saying, man, there's nothing for them to just outfit them. Well, we got the chassis, the platform. Now we could just redesign the outside and just beef it on up. And then now we got military grade stuff. So hey, same with the clothing production. Well, clothing in the malls ain't really selling, so let us make what they call BDUs, battle dress uniforms, the camouflage and shit like that, man. Anything and everything. You can go from the Hanes, making socks and underwear and things like that to hey, all the military troops got to wear socks, man. That's a big business in itself. Hey, here go a little gym for Jake out there. If you want a guaranteed job, it's going to be hard to get it, but you want a guaranteed job, go on the internet and look up governmental contracts. The government will pay people for damn near any and everything. The government have everything that we got in the civilian world. They got in a governmental world, right? So like you at your house, you pay for lawn care, and they pay for lawn care at their military bases too, man. So there's a little gym. You want your short shot job, go get your military contract. They pay upfront and large money for every damn thing. But anyway, going back into this, the plowshares and your swords. All right, look at these factories again. Like I'm saying, you have again, we got food production for the civilians, or do we have food production for the military? They're gonna prioritize military over the civilian population, because what the hell? We'd rather the civilian population starve than our military starve, because what's the point of having the military starving and then a fat population for the people to come in and just spoil the population? All right, at least if we got a fit military that can defend the land, hey, at least we got the land left over, man. All right. But nevertheless, hey, you seeing all these different things, as far as, infrastructure in America and all these different things like that crumbling, everything is just going bad, all these train wrecks and everything going on. But guess where they spending their money at, man? All right, on weapons and supplying Ukraine with these things, man. All right, so the whole world is preparing for a war. All right. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come together, all ye heathen round about. Thither cause our mighty ones to come down, O Lord. All right. We can keep reading on down, but the point I wanted to grab was up here about, beating your plowshares and your into swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I am strong. All right. This is what these nations are preparing for, man. They're all preparing for battle right about now, man. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read this as well too. Because hey, Russia's doing the same thing as well. You got talks in the news about what if Beijing decides to back Moscow and supply Moscow in this scenario, man. And then now Washington getting all mad about it. Like, oh, y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. Well, how come 35 of y'all, 30 plus of y'all in the West can back Ukraine, but one person, China, can't back Russia? But then on the flip side, if that is the case, if they officially take that stance, then you basically officially got World War III. Because they calling out that this is basically like a proxy war. We got to stop saying basically and technically, because we all know what it is, man. It's just plain semantics. Just because they hadn't officially come out and say, hey, we'll Babylon the Great, the horde that's riding upon the beast is using Ukraine as a proxy. Because they hadn't officially said that doesn't mean that that's not what's happening. Because we all can clearly see that that's what's happening. They just don't want to say officially this is what's going on. You know how like nowadays would Jake be like, oh, allegedly we seen him robbing the store because he wasn't convicted of it, but we do got it on videotape. We are watching this live. We see this. We seen him. We seen what's his boy name? Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, but we got to say allegedly right now, so we don't get, bruh. Politically correct. We don't want to be slapped because we don't want to so-called what they call slander nobody or defame nobody. So we have to say allegedly he slapped him. Bro, we all seen he slapped the shit out of that man. But this is what you have going on right now. Hey, what happens if China takes that official position? Which we already know that they're going to do that. They are already working together to begin with, but we know, or what happens if they officially take that position? America's already saying what they're going to do and what they're not going to do and how they're going to feel about it, man. So, hey, man, World War III is right there in steps. But let me just jump here to the point in Ezekiel 38 and verse 7. It says, this is talking about Russia. It says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So, hey, this is what Russia is also preparing for, to be a major supplier to these other nations going on around them, man. All right, you see how they still trying to make these backdoor deals to sell out their oil or natural gas to Europe and things like that, man. All right, so hey, we see that there's a lot of movement going on around the planet, and it's all what revolved around the trade of weapons and munitions. It's not food, all right. It's not electronics or technology or healthcare products, medicines. No, it's weapons of war, man. All right, there's a sound of battle in the land. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakak Padash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth and never will. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong and shalom.